Hello. Today we are to discuss love, relationships, and marriages. The concept of love isn't very difficult, it's extremely easy. But we are ignorant. Why? Because we are fighting with our own emotions of fears, grief, regret, shame, embarrassment. Hmm? These emotions were given to us when we were children. You know how the concept of self is formed within a child? When the child is born, he has no concept of self. He looks at himself from mother's eyes. When the infant is lying on the bed and mother looks at the infant and smiles, the infant thinks, I am doing something right. Mother is smiling at me. I am doing the right thing. So he keeps on repeating the same behavior. He keeps on smiling and laughing because he is understanding from mother's reactions that I am doing the right thing. So gradually, as the child grows, he sees the behavior of mother and other elders change towards him. Now the behavior is changing. Earlier, now what the child thinks. Child thinks, earlier everyone was talking to me nicely. Everyone was loving me. And now slowly something has happened. No one is loving me anymore. Everyone is expecting me to learn these things, some designs, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D. Everyone is expecting me to do something. And when I am doing something, then I am being loved. That means if I do something, only then I will be loved. Is that so? That's how child's concept of self starts to become distorted. He first gets love bombed by his own mother because obviously mother cannot show the same amount of love and affection to the child even when the child has started to grow up. Now he's not an infant anymore. He's turning into a toddler. He will need a little bit of disciplining. But child is devoid of these concepts. So what happens is he gets the first shock that my mother was loving me one moment and now I am unlovable. And now, in order to be loved again, I need to do something for her. So, this is the condition of all human beings. This is the condition of almost all adults. We all think that in order to be loved, we need to do something for the other person. And if the other person is not doing something for us, it means they don't love us. So, this is the understanding of love, or I would say, programming of love that has been given to us. All of us are trying to do certain actions that would make others either fall in love with us or to give us attention or to give us validation. Hmm? But when you come in contact with a guru, the ascended master, and you see his behavior, when you see the behavior of the guru, that this guru is very strange. He doesn't want to be loved. This guru, he screams at everyone. He shouts at everyone. He doesn't fear that people will stop loving him. What kind of a guru is this? How is he always disciplining others? Does he not care at all that people will leave him someday? When we see such a guru who is defying all the principles of societal obligations that we have received, our mind becomes overwhelmed. And in the moment of overwhelming, our mind can be disciplined. So, Guru takes up that opportunity and shows you what love actually is. So, love doesn't mean that you have to do something for others in order to be loved. That is purely business. So, in order to be loved by everyone, you must love your own self. With self, we do not mean your personality. No. With self, we mean the source. We mean to arrive at Sphurana, to experience Sphurana, and to realize that this mind and body is not the real I. Real I is Sphurana. So when this happens, you automatically get deprogrammed. When you get deprogrammed, you start to receive love from others. It will never happen that first you receive love from others and then you develop love for the self. No. You have to arrive at the source. You have to found the fountain of love within. Only then can you share that love with everyone. When you share that love with everyone, that love gets projected on you. Because we are all each other's reflections. So if I love you, you will love me. This is a very simple concept. So Bhagavan says, whatever is given to others will always come back to you. So it is always good to give love. But there are obstacles, there are blockages. Now, what are these blockages? Firstly, there are biological blockages. In order to arrive at Sphurana, in order to love the real self, in order to be comfortable with your own self, you need to transcend these biological limitations. Now, what are these biological limitations? This is the structure of the body of the men and women. Men have different problems, women have different problems, different obstacles. Hmm? See, a man's body and his reproductive organs are protruding outside. Hmm? So his mind is always on the outside. He is seeking outside pleasures because by the design of nature, his mind has been tuned in to samsara. There is no mystery in him. Because body is built that way. So he keeps on trying to please others because now the focus is on samsara. And when you are focused on samsara, what will you do? You will run after people, materials. You will try to acquire resources. Right? So, a man will always try to please others. This is his biological limitation, which is needed to be transcended. But no one tells him that, hey yo, you have to transcend it. You don't have to cherish it. That's something that is stopping you from attaining the impossible. And what happens to men is, if you do not transcend or resolve this obstacle of looking at samsara, because you are tuned into samsara due to the structure of the body, what will happen is, in the later years of life, you will experience increased lust. Imagine you are a 60-year-old man and you are getting attracted to 18-year-old girls. Is it not dishonorable? You are looking at young women on television who are of the age of your granddaughters and you are getting aroused by it. It's really shameful. So, lust is something which you need to overcome. It is not something which you need to cherish. As much as the world tells you that this lust is a power, it is not. It will become a power when you transcend it. Now, what are the problems women facing? Women, via the structure of the body, via the design of the nature, their body is deep and mysterious. So a woman doesn't understand her own mysteries. She doesn't understand her own nature. So she waits for someone to come into her life and to tell her, this is how you are, this is who you are, this is the kind of behavior you have, this is how beautiful you are, this is how loving you are. She waits for someone to enter her life and to solve her mysteries. Because of these mysteries, she goes into temper tantrums. She becomes moody. She feels depression a lot. She feels anxious almost every day. And it's not her fault. It's the design of the nature. Hmm? But you need to transcend it. You need to take all that sadness, all that anxiety, and being a woman, you are not only feeling your own anxiety, your own depression, you are also absorbing it from others because you are working for the universe. Hmm. So you are absorbing these negativities from everyone. But you have to transcend it. Just like a man has to transcend his lustful behaviors in order to become divine, a woman has to balance her emotional side, her emotions, which is the essence of her being. Hmm? So when she balances her psyche, her metaphysical world, hmm, she becomes divine. So love, love can only happen between men and women when these two have transcended their biological limitations, at least their biological limitations. Because if they haven't, what will happen is they will keep on expecting something from the other, but no one is in the position to give. Both are beggars. Hmm? Now, when we, when these both genders have nothing to give to each other, who will break the cycle? The Guru will. Guru will teach us how to arrive at the source, because a woman's problem can be solved only when she solves her own mystery. When she realizes her own mystery, what will happen is anyone who enters her life and tries to tell her, you are like this, you are like that, and tries to take advantage of her by portraying a wrong image of her own being, excuse me, she will know, you're not right for me. You can go. Right? So, in terms of love, both need to transcend these biological limitations. Now, there are psychological limitations as well, and so many psychological limitations are there. First of all, one must understand that love can be experienced only through God. Love cannot happen between humans. Hmm? Because love, prem, is sattva guna. Sattva guna is only available to God. So, if you want to experience love, you either have to worship God or you will have to become God yourself. Hmm? What is happening is there are energy brackets. Um, Look at this image. See, this is the map of consciousness. Hmm? The lowest frequency is shame, and the highest frequency is enlightenment. And in this table, love is so much higher. Hmm? In the lower frequencies, there is no love. If you are suffering from anger, desire, fear, if it is programmed within your psyche, you will not be available to love. You will see certain behaviors in others and you will think that this is love. You will misunderstand it and then you will be hurt because that was never love. Hmm? So, we need to transcend all these lower frequencies. I had to do it too. Then I found Raman Maharishi and I realized what love actually is. So, the purity of love a guru feels for the disciple is unmatched, and that same love should be experienced by you in your relationships, and that same love should be given by you to your partner and to the people who are around you. Hmm? Now, again, look at this chart. Have a look at it. There are energy brackets. If you are trapped in a certain bracket, you won't be able to receive love from the peace, joy, and love bracket because you are restricted. You won't be able to interact with an individual who is thriving in the frequency of peace because you will get triggered by their peace. Their peace will be alarming to you. So, what will happen is you will think this person is false. This is not the right person because their presence triggers me. But what is happening is they are just a peaceful human being and you are programmed in grief, shame, pride, jealousy. So their non reactiveness is triggering you. Hmm? Once again, take a look at this chart. In the uppermost bracket, where there is peace and joy, when you see such a feminine who is peaceful and joyful, you will think she is being sexual towards you. You will confuse her peace and joy to sexuality. Because you are thriving in lower frequencies and you have never experienced, never ever seen what peace and joy looks like. So, the combination of peace and joy together makes sensuality. Sensuality is peace, joy, bliss, playfulness. Sensuality is innocence. Sensuality is intimacy. But you will think she is being sexual. Why? Because that's what you have experienced. So now what will happen is instead of expecting the right thing, You will be expecting the wrong thing and you will be again sent to your own respective energy bracket. Go back. You're not right for me. Hmm? Do you get it? So, what happens is men see women displaying sensual behavior and they think that she is being sexual. And what happens then? They try to provoke her sexuality, but it is non existent. It is not for you. You will not get it. Hmm? Why? Because in the bracket of peace and joy, the individual cannot have any attraction towards toxicity, negativity, darkness of behavior and psyche. Peace, joy, enlightenment, these are the frequencies of Brahmanic light. So, an individual who is thriving in these frequencies will not even be attracted to an individual who is in the lower frequencies. Hmm? And this man will forever be confused. He will think that sexuality is good without even understanding that there is a difference between both. Sexuality will lead you towards deviant behaviors. A woman's sexuality will lead you towards sexual malpractices, deviant behaviors, promiscuity. Hmm? But a woman's sensuality will lead you towards what? Happiness, intimacy, a greater connection with God and Source, joy, bliss. Hmm? In sensuality, there is a least least component of sex, and in sexuality, there is least component of divinity. So, how will you understand whether a woman is truly sensual or just sexual? How will you understand? Because until unless you make this distinction, you cannot expect to be loved in the proper way because this person is incapable of love and this person is incapable of malpractices. So, this distinction can be made only when you are in touch with your intuition. So, you have a conversation and you see what kind of effects you are having, the effect of that conversation on yourself. You become attuned to the inner voice, and that inner voice will guide you. Hmm? That's how you can arrive at love. In terms of marriages, what happens is men are not used to being mature and taking responsibility of their own behavior, of their own shortcomings. So, in the starting few years of marriage, women keeps on loving the husband. Wife keeps on loving the husband. Hmm? Because she has nothing else to compare to. She thinks this is how marriages are. Then she gets pregnant. She gives birth to a child. And then she realizes that her relationship with her husband is identical to her relationship with the child. She realizes that this man is not a man, this man is just a child. Hmm? So, what happens is, because the woman is deep and mysterious, she is always connected to the metaphysical, and she can feel, she can sense that there is something wrong in her relationship with her husband. She can sense it and feel it. And in 1 year or 2 years, she realizes that on some level there is incest. Yes, she realizes that on some level the husband and wife are engaging in incest. The relationship has turned incestuous. Why? Because the husband is not grown up. His metaphysical world is similar to the metaphysical world of a child because he has no maturity. He hasn't ripened yet. Hmm? And then, even if the woman doesn't realizes this consciously, she is so attuned to the metaphysical. All women are. She is attuned to the metaphysical and she realizes that something is wrong. She may not identify it as incestuous, but she knows that she is losing attraction towards the husband. Hmm? And then a time comes when they both stop being intimate. The intimacy stops because the woman realizes that this is not a grown man. I am much happier with my child. Hmm? Because here I am being involved in activities that are against my spiritual code of conduct. And she is not even aware of the spiritual code of conduct, and yet she is aware of it on a subconscious level. So she loses all attraction towards the husband. What happens then? Husband all over the world are saying that everything was fine before she became pregnant or before she gave birth. After the arrival of child, within 1 or 2 years, everything changed. And because this man had not worked upon his biological limitations, which is lust, because he is attuned to samsara. She is attuned to the metaphysical. He is attuned to the samsara. And because he never took the time and never made efforts to grow and mature, she loses her attraction. And then these men tell everyone that don't get married. Hmm? If you get married within 1 or 2 years, everything will, you know, it's just an illusion. Don't get married. Marriage is a trap. That's what's happening. But the reality is, it's not woman's fault. Hmm? Your maturity, your spiritual ripeness is in your dominion. She cannot ripen you spiritually, right? So, this is the condition and obstacles we are facing in love and marriages. Hmm. In order to transcend these obstacles, dissolve the problems, we require someone to show us the pathway to transcend beyond the limitations of samsara and the metaphysical. Hmm? See, Paramatma, God, has four functions. Hmm? Paramatma has four functions. First is creation, then destruction. Third is maintenance, and fourth is divine intervention. So, God has four functions. So, in your life, you will find people who are trying to create with you. Hmm? Then you will find people who are trying to destroy you and destroy others with you. Then you will find people who are trying to maintain you. Now, there are few people in your life who are trying to maintain your good qualities. They are enabling your good self. Then there are people who are enabling your worst traits. So, these are the people who are maintaining you. Hmm? Then comes the divine intervention. There are people who are a medium of divine intervention in your life. So, this divine intervention aspect, it is just 1%. Hmm? Rest is almost 93% is destruction. I'm so sorry. I'm pausing for a second just till any noise. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying. So, almost 93% of people that you have accumulated in life are being destructive to you. They don't even know. They don't know. Because until unless people have wisdom, they will always be detrimental to you, always be hazardous to you. Hmm? Then 1% are those who are trying to create and build with you. 1% are those who are trying to maintain you. So now you must be very careful. The lover and partner you select should either be someone who is trying to create with you, build with you, or someone who is trying to maintain your good qualities. If somehow you select a partner who is trying to destroy you or trying to destroy others using you, hmm, or trying to enable your dark side, your worst traits. So, this kind of love and this kind of marriage will only bring pain to you. Hmm? The best kind of marriage is when both are a form of divine intervention to one another. Hmm? If both cannot be divine intervention, at least one has to be. Well, then, at least one has wisdom, other one has protection, providence, right? So, the one who is being a medium of divine intervention is the medium of divine intervention in everyone's life. This is the way to recognize such a person. If someone is a medium of divine intervention for everyone, only then they can be said that they are playing the role of divine intervention. Otherwise, they are either enabler of good or bad, or they are the creator or builder. Hmm? So, whatever people are there in your life, look at them and try to understand in which category they fall into. Hmm? Remember their advices, remember their words, remember their own life choices. If they are destroying their life, if they are destroying the life of their loved ones, they will never build with you because they don't know how to. It will never happen that they are disloyal towards their own people and loving and loyal towards you. Mm-mm. Cannot happen. You're not for me. Right? So, the reason why I am sharing this with you is because in order to protect this aspect of your life, you require this wisdom, the understanding of what is the difference between sensuality and sexuality. Because sensuality will lead you towards divinity only because it is full of bliss. It has nothing to do with the sexual practice. Hmm? And sexuality will lead you towards malpractices and promiscuity. Hmm? Then you need to understand this divine intervention and all other 2-3 categories that I just shared with you. Hmm? That's how you protect yourself, by understanding the motives of people who are around you. Now, why do we need to understand all this? Why is the topic of love so important? Topic of love is important because we need bigger families. We need families where there are 4 to 5 children. Hmm? Because once you attain abundance from Brahman, you need to pass it on to your children. That abundance should not end with you, because we are striving for the position of a superpower. And if in every family the abundance stops with you, then we will fall from our position. And hence, it is really important for each and every one of us to realize how to form genuine connections, to find a partner who supports you in your sadhana, hmm? Who shares the same belief system, hmm? So that your ascension isn't stopped, isn't blocked. Because if your partner starts to get jealous of you, you won't be able to have peace. How will you meditate? It is better to avoid as much drama as possible. If still drama arrives, receive it as Guru Prasadam. Fine, not an issue. But at least we'll make an effort to avoid the chaos. Hmm? Now, neither you can trust your own relatives nor you can trust the outsiders. So, when you try to pass on the legacy to your children, the legacy should be such that it can be equally transferred. Else, you will have to involve other people, and once you are gone, the entire legacy will fall apart. And if this happens in almost all the families who are about to receive abundance, we will again fall down from our position. So now it is imperative for all of us to become wise, really fast. Actually, there are a lot of disturbances around me, so continuity is breaking again and again. But still, topic is complete, and I'll watch this video once, and if some point has been left, I'll make another video and upload it sometime in the mid of the week. All right, take care and protect yourself. Thank you.